Hey, what's up, guys? Christian Brindle here, and we're back with another episode with somebody doing big time things in the insurance space. I am joined by Kieran McCartney, who is the co-owner and the founder of two very prominent, successful insurance agencies, Colorado Insurance Advisors and Medical Plans Hawaii. Kieran is somebody that is a top producer. He's a mentor and helped other agents grow into top producers. And he's just an overall agency builder and an unbelievable guy. Super excited to have him on. Kieran, how are you doing today?
Good. Thanks, Christian. It's an honor to be on one of your podcasts. I see you all over the place, and I feel like you're a superstar now in the Medicare space. So thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But, it's always an honor for me when we can get to have somebody like you who's as accomplished as you and kind of come on and kind of, give some great words of wisdom and some kind of advice to everybody that's watching here. Kieran, I wanted to start off just for anybody that watches this that might not be familiar with you, might not know you, talk a little bit about how you got into the space, right? I always find that those are some really interesting stories. There's very few of us that grew up wanting to be agents, right? Um,
Sure.
so talk about that a little bit. How did you get into the space?
Sure. I'm from Oregon originally, but moved over to Hawaii when I was young and went to school there and pretty much have been there my whole life and was a tennis player, got a scholarship playing tennis over in college and met a few of my buddies, not kind of knowing what direction to choose in college. I feel like a lot of people, unless you go a lawyer or doctor route or engineer, you're kind of like lost maybe. So it's kind of feeling that way. And they said they thought I'd be a good fit for insurance. So got my licenses passed and went into life insurance. That was my first start. And I worked with Guardian Life solely. And the life insurance was a tough game for sure. I did okay with it, but I wasn't too excited with what I was doing. And it wasn't like something that was like a wow factor for me. And my girlfriend at the time happened to be doing ICA with United Healthcare directly. And she would be, making all these commissions and all these extra paychecks coming in. I'd look at her and go, how are you doing all this? Like, here I am struggling to meet my quota with life insurance, and you're making like an extra 2,000, 3,000 here and there. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? And, I was like completely clueless. And I would see these Medicare people come around, like I think Humana back in the day. And I'd be like, I wonder what that's all about. So I had my health license. I had just my health and life. And basically, just wasn't working out for me in life insurance. And I just asked her to get me an in with United Healthcare. They had an ICA director, a spot. And I actually had told one of the managers at that point that I was really close with one of my girlfriend's friends to have the interview and got in and just basically gave my spiel and it was sailing from there. I couldn't believe it. I mean, you may have experienced this, Christian, but back in the day, I think I started this in 2010. I think Advantage came into the market in 2008, but back in the day, I mean, especially in Hawaii, leads were just flowing like crazy. So I'd get leads and I'd literally go to Starbucks and call and then go hang out and go beach afterwards and just enjoy. And all of a sudden, just closing all these business, this business. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is like a dream to me, and in insurance, coming from life insurance and struggling. And that was pretty much it. I learned the business as ICA with United Healthcare probably for about 5 years. And then the great thing about United, as opposed to maybe some of these other carriers, is they let you take your book with you if you decide to leave.
Right.
That's when I decided, I'm going to go into my own agency. I think 1 year I saw a huge fall off with my United clients. And I was like, to be successful in this business, I can't just sell one product, one carrier. I need all of them on board. I'm just not offering what I should be able to offer to my clients. It's just not correct. So I started off and formed my own agency in Hawaii and built up one of the top teams over there. And it's been smooth sailing ever since. Met my wife in Hawaii, and then here's the thing. I couldn't leave Hawaii without hiring a managing partner because Hawaii's got this very Ohana spirit over there. So if you leave, you're basically going to probably lose your team. So I knew that if I was moving to Colorado, I would have to be back and forth to Hawaii and at least have presence, have somebody that the agents trusted, and make it work. And it's been great, since I left, and Colorado's been amazing, and that's my story. So.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. I mean, it is so interesting too, especially when you see people that start in the life sales world and they kind of transition over to Medicare and they see the difference, right? Life is I would say it's such a harder sell. I would say, right? Versus Medicare. Medicare is so educational and it's something that everybody needs to have. And not that people don't need to have life insurance, but it's so interesting to, when people kind of start in that way and then they come in and crush it with Medicare. And
You said a need versus a want.
yeah,
With Medicare, you really do need it because there's no caps with Medicare, right? With life insurance, you don't necessarily need it.
right.
So
It's much more of a luxury, right? It's not as much as a need.
right.
I wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit for the audience and kind of get your opinion on something. One thing I get asked constantly from people all around the industry is there's such a high fail rate in really any kind of sales, performance-based kind of career. So it's not to say our industry is unique in that regard, but you know, there's upwards of 90% of people in the Medicare space don't make it. You've obviously worked with a lot of agents that over your time in the industry, but also, you've worked with a lot of agents that have made it and you've been able to kind of help them kind of grow their careers. What do you feel like separates an agent that makes it that's successful versus somebody that doesn't? What are those characteristic differences?
I think having a local support team is huge. Somebody that knows the market locally, that can plug you in to maybe doctor networks, maybe help you get dental networks on board, has connections with seminars, has kind of got the whole local presence figured out to be able to plug an agent in, as opposed to an agent that's green that is trying to figure this out on their own. Because as you and I know, Christian, it's not an easy business to figure out. Medicare has got multiple moving parts.
Yep.
And I've seen almost agents just give up when it comes to the AHIP and then having to do all the certs with the carriers and trying to figure out, is this compliant? Is this not compliant? What's going on here? They almost have a sense of like giving up at that point, saying, man, seems like it's not even sales. It's like, what can I and cannot do? I mean, to answer your question, have somebody local that can kind of almost not necessarily, I mean, we'll take the agent by the hand, but also make sure the agent knows that, hey, I'm going to help you set some things up, but it's also your job to get out there. You have a job here that is offering no monthly premium on a lot of these plans. You
Yep.
have something that these seniors need. You have something that's basically in your hand to go out and build your book up aside from what I'm going to help you with. So there's got to be a sense of eagerness and non-laziness from the agent's part just to get out there. And then also somebody like me locally that can take them by their hand and show them the ropes.
Yeah, 100%. I think, having that support is everything, right? I know for me as a new agent, you know, I I struggled, I think as a lot of us did, right, at the beginning. And I think what really made the difference was being able to go on appointments, right? Go on ride-alongs, see presentations. And so for some people, I think for a lot of agents, that kind of what ends up being the thing that clicks, right? You're like, oh, I see how you explained that. I see how you did that.
Right.
And it definitely helps having somebody in your backyard that you can work with.
Yeah, just the process. When I got to Colorado, a lot of my agents were direct with FMO agencies in other states. And one of the FMOs said, you know what, to be successful, you should probably move to our state. And then I was like, what? That's crazy talk. Like, you don't need to move over to a different state and change your whole life around. Like, just, come on board with me and we'll make it work. We'll get out there. I'll show you how to set up dental offices, how to build up a referral program, right? This business really has come down to building up referrals and, having the grassroots marketing there. I mean, to me, it truly has. Having doctor networks on board, being able to plant tables maybe in the waiting areas, right? Having T65 events that are seminar events that are coming through, right? All these options out there, having people like you, Christian, that have a great lead support system, right? Where maybe there's ways to understand how to have scripted calls so you don't lose the lead. Having somebody with local presence that has support with United Healthcare or the big carriers like Humana, these carriers where I'm getting a lot of support on the back end to have these agents and on a local level become successful, right?
Hmm.
Plugging them into different events, senior law day events. I mean, all these type of things are out there. And as an agency, me and my wife, she's on the IT side, but we've got events every month for the agents to do. And we do co-op with them, and there's more than enough events to get them out there and get them warm. And then when they're ready and they need to understand those sales, not only am I training a couple of times a week, but I'll go on their sales with them to make sure that they know what's going on, right? So that it's just that support system again. You have to have it.
Yep. Yep. I couldn't agree more. That makes the difference, I think, with everything.
Yeah.
Transitioning into that, kind of shifting gears a little bit, we're kind of in a landscape where a lot of agents feel like it's getting harder and harder to break through when you're new, right? With increased regulations, increased compliance. We just had a final rule drop. We seem to have one every year now for the past 3 years or so, and adding more rules to the game, right? Just is kind of what we're seeing. What do you feel like an agent really needs to be attentive to really make it in their first year or two in today's landscape with kind of the way things are looking right now versus maybe when like you and I got in, you got in 2010, I got in 2014. So within that kind of time frame, it's a different industry, right? It's a different landscape. What do you feel like is really important today that is different than maybe when guys like you and me got going?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if the agents today would really know the difference. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
I still feel like agents today can become successful. I mean, these final rules are definitely putting a glitch in some areas, but it's not like the 48-hour scope wasn't there before. They brought it back. I mean,
Right.
these things I feel like we're used to, and you just deal with it, the ever revolving changes. Personally, I think the new agents, for one, to be a new agent, I think the biggest difficulty that I see is not necessarily these new rules because I don't think they know any different, right?
Right.
The biggest thing I see is Medicare's a volume business. You have to do volume to build up your book to where you're making some decent type of money, right? It's not like real estate where you can sell one case and maybe make $40,000 commission and then just slide, right? I mean, Medicare, you really do need to do volume. And I'll say most of my agents are doing 15 to 20 sales. Some of them do 30 sales a month, right? But I feel you need that volume to get out there and build your book up. And I feel where agents struggle the most is if they don't have an income to support themselves while they're building their book. It's like, okay, well, what are we going to do here, right? I mean, how am I going to make this work if I don't have any other income coming in? Can I make it work? Can I build it up quick enough? Can I do it? And I will tell them, yes, you can. If you're willing and you're eager to get out there and do things, and especially T65 where you're getting the higher commissions, you can be making more than what your normal job is. Because I mean, a lot of our agents at T65 are closing sometimes 6 to 7, 8 sales a month. That's over $600 a month with the HRA that may be going away. That times seven closes, right? I mean, that's not bad for a commission, and the
Mm-mm.
residuals will kick in a year later. I think that's the biggest struggle. And then truly just having an agent that just wants to be like a parakeet and just get out there and learn and just copy and repeat what I've been doing in this a sense, have some of their own creativity. I think you'll be perfectly fine in this business and be successful. And try not to play into all the jargon. I mean, there obviously is compliant rules, but we teach that, but don't let that suck up all your energy, right? So
Yeah. 100%. I think one of my biggest pet peeves, I think, in our industry is, I think everybody should teach the compliance rules, teach, kind of what you need to do to stay compliant. But there's so many people in our space that present it in a way to where it's like, don't step here, or you're going to be struck by lightning. Don't step there, or you're going to get in trouble. And there's not enough, I think, teaching about, okay, you can't do this. Okay, we got it. Okay, that's clear. But this is what you can do. This is how you can work around it compliantly, right? And I think, that is such a important aspect of all of this, right? Is like, because so many agents I see that work with people, that's all they talk about seems like is the compliance rules. They're like, okay, I don't know what I can do. Do you see that as well?
I do, and I tell them to relax a little bit on that. I mean,
Yeah.
look, Christian, we have the call centers calling our clients non-compliantly 48,000 times a day. I mean,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And nobody's been cracked on that yet, to my knowledge. I mean, it's like, obviously you don't want to be forging people's signatures. You don't want to be doing the wrong thing for the clients. You want to make sure that they're in the right plans. You want to make sure it fits their needs 110%. But for the most part, take a lot of this stuff to me with a grain of salt. That's the way I look at it. I don't put as much energy. I mean, obviously you need to know the compliant factors, the big factors of this, but don't let that detour you from getting out and doing the right thing, which is ultimately helping seniors at the end of the day.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. You've been a top producer, Kieran, on your own efforts by your own pen. You've written a lot of business over your career. What do you feel like has made the biggest impact in allowing you to thrive as a personal producer?
I'm one of these people that has this personalities that I have trouble relaxing. So
You and me
I
both. You and me both.
yeah, it may be a good thing and a bad thing on certain angles. With my wife,
Yeah.
it's a bad thing because you know how that goes. She's like, you just need to relax and chill and enjoy, right? And sometimes I have trouble doing that, but I think the biggest thing is just my personality. I'm one of these type A personalities that enjoys going out and meeting new people and meeting, different connections, maybe different centers of influence to work with. I just enjoy getting out of the house and meeting people. And I really feel with Medicare, all this stuff really comes down to numbers. And,
Yeah.
and personally with Medicare, I think it's even more so than numbers because you're offering them something that a lot of times they're not being charged, right? Or if they are being charged, it's like a supplement where it's way more phenomenal than what they ever had with their group medical, with high deductibles, et cetera, et cetera. So to me, I'm like, all seniors need to know about this. We're doing a great thing. People that have Medicaid, Medicare, we're doing an amazing thing. Some of these people are crying because they're getting extra food aside from what the state's giving them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
I mean, to me, I think the success rate is just seeing the value to this business and really just getting off my tush and just going out there and doing it and just saying, hey, this can be done. It's very plausible that it can be done. I'm not asking anybody for any upfront money. I mean, Christian, we're in a sales business. I mean, if you, I always tell this to my agents, if you can't succeed in Medicare, what are you going to succeed in? I mean, is it
Right.
going to be real
Yeah.
estate? Is it going to be life insurance? Is it going to be PNC? I mean, okay, go try. I mean, to me, I just think we have a lot of gratuity and positive things with how this business works still right now. So
Yeah. I totally agree. It's such an interesting phenomenon too. Like, especially like going back to that conversation we were having at the beginning about people that started in life and then they kind of find Medicare and they're like, wow, this is such a, I don't have to push. I don't, people need this, all of that conversation. Us as Medicare agents, when we're selling Medicare Advantage, which most of us probably sell more of that than anything these days, right? Oftentimes you never have to collect banking account information. You never have to collect premium payment method. It's unbelievable. You have a Medicare card, you're good to go if you want this plan.
and on top of that, seniors are baking you cookies. I mean, it's like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
else could you want? I mean, I've honestly got some of truly of some close seniors to me that,
Yeah.
they'll call me, ask me how I'm doing. They ask how my family's doing. They want to know how my daughter's doing. So it just takes it even more of that aspect away from the business where it just makes you feel like, I don't know, like this spiritual aura about what you're doing in business. It's nice. It's a good feeling.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Like with a lot of clients too, you become like part of their family,
100%.
and you don't get that, I think, from really any other type of sales
I don't think so.
clientele relationship kind of, industry that I'm aware of. It's just
I
not
don't
the
think
same.
so. And I would say that we're one of the businesses where I still tell my agents from a local level, try to get that appointment and go see them. Seniors really
Hmm.
want to see you in person. Do they want you to be selling from another state over the phone? I just don't find it real powerful. And I find that your retention methods may fall off a little bit. where when you go see them and they know that you're like your mom or dad in this space and they've met you, they've gotten to rapport with you about, what maybe from Hawaii or Colorado, what you've done in life, what high school you went to me, it just makes it so much more powerful. So.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I agree. I agree. We've talked about it a little bit on the video, but I wanted to go a little deeper into it. How important do you feel like mentorship is when somebody's new in the business, right? Like we talked about it a little bit, but like I don't know if the audience fully kind of grasps the value and the importance of mentorship when they're starting out.
Yeah, I feel this is a big question for people starting out. And I take tons of people starting out, and I've transitioned a lot of people starting out into six-figure plus agents. And I'm not trying to boast, but I feel this is where I excel, right? I'm not
Yeah.
necessarily one of these agencies that's trying to have a team in every state with millions of agents. If it gets to that point, great. But I kind of like the smaller scale where maybe I have 20, 30 agents that are all doing 15 to 20 sales a month, like my Hawaii team. And we kind of keep it more like an ohana, like a family. I'm fine with that. Sometimes with bigger arenas comes way more stress too. So
Hmm.
I'm okay with it. All depends, I guess, on what you need out of your lifestyle. But to your question, I truly believe that agents need somebody as a local presence. I truly believe that. I've seen it hand in hand again, where they'll go to a national FMO somewhere and get promised or get told the old same things that I'm sure, Christian, you had and I had when we came into this business.
Yep.
Um, and it's just the same old rodeo. We're going to have marketing dollar support. We're going to have software. We're going to be able to, God, I can't even think what else they do. They don't do much. I mean, that's basically all that I know of. I mean, we're gonna, maybe be able to help you on a few events or plug you into something. I don't know. It's just not much, right? Whereas it is an agent, I talk to them and we're gonna be like, hey, look, we're gonna go from A to Z here. I'm gonna show you how this business works. We're gonna get you through passing these tests correctly, make sure you understand everything. And then we're going to develop a marketing plan. We're going to take you out and help develop at least 10 to 15 dental offices that you can work with, do some lunch and learns, getting some people referred to you right away. We'll plug you into some doctor networks. I work with multiple doctor networks in Hawaii and Colorado. I'm going to show you how a T65 event works. You're going to see my presentations. I'm going to train you on the presentations, because I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of people out there doing them, but not everybody does a great job.
Yep.
And people are shopping at these presentations. Seniors love to eat. I bet you, man, if I was a senior, I'd probably be going to 4 of them,
Yeah.
right? Knowing I'm turning 65. But at the end of the day, they're going to take the person that they, first of all, feel comfortable with and obviously knows their information, right? And I just feel that, look, watch how I do my presentation. Come to 4 or 5 of mine. See how I do it. Ask questions, right? So that full support system is there. Hey, you need United Healthcare. I got an agent that's doing a T65 tonight. United Healthcare is showing up to their event and they're helping them with some of the costs,
Yeah.
right? That may not be supported from an FMO on a national level. I mean, having somebody on a local level that knows your name, right? All these different things, lead systems. Now with you having an amazing lead platform with Lead Heroes, which to me is one of the top in the business.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, all this, like how to call these leads, truly having somebody that is just showing them the ropes and how this business works. It's needed.
Yeah.
You're not going to just be able to say, here's an FMO nationally. Here's this and maybe a back office and a couple of things here and there. Go do it now. They're not. I guarantee you, there's going to be almost 100% failure rate, and I've seen it time and time again.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. And very well said. I think there's something to be said about somebody showing you, again, we kind of talked about it earlier, right? A real life scenario, real life situation where somebody's going to push back on something. They're going to ask a question about something. There needs to be clarity on something. And it's just different, right? Seeing a real life scenario versus just being like, okay, role play example, this is what this looks like. Not that that doesn't help, but
Right.
yeah, I
I
think,
mean, I feel it's kind of like any trait. Let's say you take an electrician and you tell an electrician, look, you've gone through school, you've gone through your classes, now you're with X ABC company. ABC company says, okay, go out and get the job done, right? You've been studying this for a while, go out and get the job done, right? And they're new, right? Or is it better to have somebody as a local mentorship that basically says, here's somebody that's going to be by your side as a mentor, teaching you on how to do these jobs correctly. And then you put a certain amount of effort into this for at least a year until now you feel comfortable, or 6 months to go out and do it on your own, right? I mean, it's kind of that concept. It's, the mentor concept. Do you want a local mentor, or do you want somebody that just says, go do it?
right, right. I think about it too, like a doctor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, would you like a doctor working on you that sat in an actual surgery room, countless times, was a part of certain experiences. They had all this experience through working with other doctors that were experienced. Or do you want somebody that just read the textbook and never got to be a part of it, right? Be a part of the action.
That's a better analogy than what I use. Exactly.
I think they both work really well together on that. But I wanted to kind of talk to a little bit and have you kind of expand on the Colorado market, right? What's the Colorado market look like? And talk a little bit about the opportunity that you and your team really provide to agents that are local in the area, right? Like, can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming from Hawaii was a very tight niche market. What I mean by that is that you had a lot of agents on top of everybody over there, a lot of agents bumping into everybody. I mean, what is it? It's an island with 1 million people on it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
gonna be small. And in Hawaii, everybody knows everybody's auntie and uncle and cousin over there. It's just how it works, right? Coming to Hawaii, I was like, whew, it was like night and day for me as an agent. I was like, this is phenomenal. I feel like, and maybe I just don't see it because it's so widespread out here, but I just feel like I don't run into a lot of Medicare agents out here. I feel like a lot of agents out here are doing more things like life insurance and PNC. I don't feel like the saturation is as full out here in Colorado.
Hmm.
Definitely T65 and people turning with the baby boomers and people moving in here from other states is very prevalent out here. There's so much business with T65, and personally, I enjoy that market more. Hawaii was a lot of dual. And as you know, Christian, dual is the dual market.
Right. Right.
It's it's got its headaches to it, right? Where if you prep a T65 and you do it the right way, I just feel like less calls, less worrying about the state shutting down or getting breached, and you can't get any information ever with trying to get phone calls and nobody getting back to you.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of a headache. So I've appreciated the fact that the clientele here is definitely here, far more widespread here than Hawaii. Opportunity wise, phenomenal out here. I mean, so many doctor networks that we can work with. I think right now we're working with up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different doctor networks out here that
Wow.
have different various clinics within that network. Dental offices. I don't know what was going on with Medicare agents, but to me, as soon as I've gotten here and been after dental offices, no agents, that's been like an open, widespread market with dentists referring consistently. I mean, I got dental offices referring about 6 people a month right now, right? So just so much seminar avenues here that may not have worked so much back in Hawaii. The carriers out here are so nice to work with, super friendly. The Aetnas of the world, United Healthcare's, Humana's, like super friendly. And with my team, they're plugging us into as much stuff as they want. I think last month we had a pet slash food bank, like where they would be giving away food to the consumer and pet food to their pets.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and so all these seniors came up. I mean, there was hundreds of them in their car, and we were out passing out, things about Medicare, and tons of leads coming from those type of events. There's just always something going on here, and the support factors with the carriers is really nice out here. I can't say enough about it. So to a new agent wanting to come into this market in Colorado, I think sky's the limit. I mean, if as long as you're willing to work, you're not lazy, you're willing to just let me help you and get out there and plug you into things. I mean, I came out here roughly 2.5 years ago, maybe a little less, and I've already got 3 agents, maybe a little, almost 4 agents that are making 6 figures a year already. I mean, that's like
spectacular. It's phenomenal.
it's not bad, right? And then they're going to repeat and wash, do the same thing the next year with their book. There'll be a small percent that falls off, but with our retention programs coming into play, I mean, this market to me is just unreal. So I just pray that it keeps going.
Yeah, I love it. And yeah, guys, I would just say to anybody that's in the Colorado area, and you're looking for some help. I mean, we get agents that reach out to us all the time that they're just like, I don't know what to do. I don't have any guidance. I don't have any direction. I mean, if you're in the Colorado market or if you're in the Hawaii market, even, because there's 2 agencies that Kieran's a part of, reach out to these guys and get connected with them because they got tried and true systems and processes they can plug you into and really kind of help you excel, right? Again, you can get that local face-to-face kind of interaction and training. Kieran,
Yeah.
sorry. I was just going to say, talk a little bit about where people can best get in touch with you and your team.
Yeah, and to lead off to that point before I go to end there, my wife is really good with IT, so she does a lot of finding events every month. So we have a chat, a Telegram chat with all the agents, and we post events for agents to get out there and get involved in the community. She's very good at the social media platform as far as helping, people understand how to post or maybe develop leads from there. We're really good at that. We get the agents' first round of business cards for them. We help them with shirts and swag on the first round. So we really are trying to fully give as much as we can to help them be successful. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Reaching out to me, best thing is to do is just call me. My cell phone, it's 720-295-7551. Again, 720-295-7551. That's my Colorado number. I have a Hawaii number, but Colorado's fine. You'll get me off of both markets. And then you could email me too. My email is coloradoinsadvisors@gmail.com. INS stands for insurance. So coloradoinsadvisors@gmail.com.
I love it. And guys, we'll actually link those. We'll put those down in the description of this video as well. So go check those out as well for Kieran's contact information. Reach out to them, guys. If you're needing some help, you're needing some direction, and you're in either markets, whether it be Hawaii, Colorado, there's nothing quite like having a boots on the ground organization to kind of help you and kind of help you get started. And I mean, the other thing that I don't know if you're watching to the end of this, if you picked up, is like, it's such a cool dynamic when you're getting started to be part of a smaller, close-knit group, a 20 agent group, a 30 agent group. And, it's not a situation where you're part of a 1,000 or 5,000 agent group, and where you can very easily slip through the cracks. So reach out to these guys and, highly recommend working with them. And Kieran, thank you for doing this, my friend. This was a lot of fun. We'll have to do more. We'll have to do another one of these soon.
Yeah, and before we leave, I want to thank you, Christian, for all that you're doing in the market. You're young and hip with your YouTube, with your channels all the time and keeping everybody informed. And I just really appreciate the work that you're putting into the Medicare space. So thank you so much on what you're doing also.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that and appreciate everything you guys are doing as well. And, we need good leaders in our industry right now more than ever. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and you made it all the way to the end, you're the MVP of this video, frankly. So make sure to like the video. If you found it helpful, it helps reach more people just like you who need to hear this information desperately. Comment your thoughts down below. Anything you liked about the video, any questions that you have, we'll make sure to respond to them. And make sure to subscribe. We'll be back shortly with another person doing big time things in our industry. And thanks so much for watching as always. Thanks, everybody.